So today I was going to do a Pilates core exercises video, and then I thought all Pilates exercises are for the core and I just actually want to let my body move. So I'm going to do a kind of Pilates classical flow. I might use a ball, I might use some hand weights. These are 1 kg each. I might not have them to hand. If you don't have them, don't worry about it. I'm going to start off lying down on my back, and do you know what? I'm going to start off with the ball between my inner leg thighs. I'm lying in neutral, I'm hip width apart, and I'm just breathing. Oh, excuse me. I'm breathing into the full space of my lungs. And I'm exhaling fully. I'm breathing into the bit of my lungs that's right up at my collarbone. I'm feeling my lungs lengthen and expand from my collarbone all the way down to my ribs. And as my lungs expand, they hug my heart. Two more like this. My lungs are hugging my heart. Float the arms up to the ceiling, the 100. Lift the head up, curling through the arms pressed down, hug the ball, legs in, start pumping the arms. Inhale and exhale. I am squeezing the ball, but I'm not crushing it. Pull the ball away from the belly, but pull the belly away from the ball. Lengthen the legs if that's comfortable for you. Pulling the ball into the belly, pulling the belly into the mat. Full big breaths. Let the lungs hug your heart. Two more. Last time. Knees in, feet down, and stretch arms overhead. Arms up, lift the head, and roll up. I'm going to remove the ball and reach my legs out long and round forwards. Curl the tail, lie back down, and stretch. Arms up, head up, and roll up. Reach. Keep that breath flowing through the body with that feeling of inner thighs hugging the ball. One more. I'm going to stretch out the backs of my legs. Right leg in, hands behind the thigh. Lengthen up and down. If you want, you can stroke the back of the leg, you know, just being like, hello leg, I love you, thank you for keeping me upright and carrying through my day. Last time, lengthen the leg up and lower it down. Other leg hugs in, hands behind the thigh. I'm going to lengthen and bend. And we're still breathing. We'll do a couple more. And then lengthen the leg up and lengthen it down. Reach the arms overhead, push through the heels, stretch the backs of the calves, and then point the toes. And push through the heels, and point the toes. One more. And point the toes, and then bring your body into a little ball, hands to the ankles, and really press the feet into the seat. You can rock gently. Ab series of 5. Place the hands on the front of the right thigh, palm over palm, and press against the hands and resist with the thigh. Single leg stretch. Left leg is going to reach out long, and then switch. So I'm moving my hands to the bent leg to find that resistance. This will help hold me up off the mat without straining my neck, as well as deepening that core connection. Last set. Last one. Hug both legs in, press the feet to the seat. Rock from side to side. And you can put your head down at any point if you need to. From here, double leg stretch. We're going to push the arms and the legs forwards, heels together. Imagine a ball between them, like you're squeezing. And hug back in, lengthening out and in. So if the ball was between the legs, you'd be pushing it away but pulling the belly in opposition. 2 more. And in. Last one. And in, rock from side to side. Bring the arms by the side and the head back down and the legs to a tabletop position without bracing the upper body. So we're trying to just only move within a range of motion where we feel soft in that mat and we can breathe. Right leg is going to lower towards the mat and lift, like a kind of heel tap. And lift. And if I start feeling, ooh, I'm clenching my front body, or I'm clenching my neck, I maybe just don't go so far today. There's no competition. And we're letting the abdominals catch up our leg, without bracing down into the mat. One more on each side. Last one. Oops, sorry. And bring the legs in. Rock from side to side. And then hands behind the head, palm over palm, so we're nice and curled up, legs to the ceiling. Double leg lower lift. We're going to lower, 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 and lift. Lower, 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 and lift. And I'm only going as far as my back's not changing. I'm not creating stress in the body. Last one. And lower down. I'm going to grab my ball. Ooh. I say I'm going to grab it. Where's it gone? There it is. Ball between the inner thighs. Hands back behind the head for a bit of rotation. I'm going to lift my head and shoulders up off the mat. I'm going to rotate to the right, hug the ball, and then rotate to the left. Thinking of my ribs or my lungs, lifting up and over, and center, up and over, and center. One more. Last time. And lie down, and stretch. Somehow, when I think of my lung lobes moving, I get more rotation than if I just think of my ribs. It's a weird one. I'm going to bring the arms up into the air. I'm going to bring the legs into the chest and lengthen them up to the air and flex the feet. And now as I exhale, I'm going to push the ball to the ceiling and then lie back down. Push the ball to the ceiling. Eyes looking at the belly. And lie back down. One more time. And lie down. Lower the legs. lengthen them, give them a bit of a shake, reach the arms overhead. And then bring the legs back up to the ceiling, flex the feet. And now I'm going to bring the ball towards my left foot. I'm going to exhale and lie down. The right foot and down. The left and down. When I lift up, I'm looking at my belly, not the ball or the foot. One more time. And lower down. Place the ball between the inner thighs if you're using it for bridging with the ball. I'm going to lift at the very end of my exhale. That's just what works for me. So kind of listen to your body. I'm going to deflate my ribs or my lung lobes, and that weight is going to float my hips up with ease. And then I'm just going to refill my lung lobes and come back down. Articulating through the spine and really hugging the ball, again without crushing it, but using the ball to keep weight through the big toe joint. And to sort of silence any swaying. Now I think I could probably get more length. I feel I was cheating a bit. So when I lift, I'm trying to get this lovely long diagonal down my front body without overarching my back. So I'm keeping my ribs in and I'm using my seat, also part of my powerhouse, or my core to lift me. And down, I'm going to do one more. And down. And then I'm going to give myself a figure four stretch. Left foot over the top of right knee. You might keep the foot down on the mat. The ball's rolling again. You might hug the leg in. You might rock to the right and to centre. It was kind of nice for me today, just getting a bit of movement in that lower back, a little bit of rotation there. And then change sides. Honouring that different sides are different. So what might feel good on one side might not feel so good on the other, and that's okay. That feels good there. And then rolling over onto one side. Back up against the back edge of the mat. You can be on a straight long arm or you can prop yourself up. Main thing is to have a feeling of pulling the armpit, or like squeezing the armpit and lifting a little bit of your waist internally, and the heels being stacked. Top leg we're going to lift to hip height and we're going to kick it to the front. Kick and back, kick and back. My legs staying at hip height and my spine is staying relatively still. Just letting that thigh bone sink into its socket and stretch out of it. Hover over the other leg, check the heels match. Top leg, lift and lower. Lift and lower. Reach out to lift as opposed to just kind of flinging the leg in the air. So you're always trying to retain as much space in your side body as you can. But today, I'm going to let my pelvis have a bit of movement because it's been feeling a bit stuck, like it needs to move, you know? So again, just listen. What's your body asking for? Make this your practice. Circle the lower leg, the top leg even. And reverse, really reaching out. And then I'm going to have a thigh stretch, bending my top leg and pulling it slightly behind me and really pressing into the hand with resistance. And then I'm going to spin around and do the same thing on the other leg. So back is against the back edge of the mat, legs to the front. My top leg's going to lift to hip height, and I'm going to kick it forwards and back, front and back, front and back. And I just let that thigh bone move through the socket. It feels a bit stiffer on this side. Couple more. And so that's where sometimes when it feels stiff, you want to be controlled and stable, but you don't want to be so controlled, we're going to lift up and down, that you make yourself rigid. So it's a balance, like all the good things in life. Couple more. Really reaching out. Circle the top leg. Reverse. And rest. And then turn to face the front of the mat again if you copied me. And just lie down and bring the right foot over the top of the left knee. Keep the right foot now. Put the left foot over the top of the right knee and keep the right foot down. Get there in the end. And now just rock over to the right. And centre. You may be able to touch the floor with this left foot. Don't worry if you're not. Just feel a real lengthening through your left side. And change sides. This has been a very random sequence, but I've just been kind of listening to what my body has been asking for. So I hope it feels good for you too. And then I'm going to bring my legs back down, and I'm going to grab my hand weights. Whew, why not? And I'm going to bring my legs together. They're not too bent, so they're not as bent as they were for bridge. My arms are going to come up into the air with a nice strong flat wrist. And I'm just going to roll up, peeling my spine up one bone at a time. And then lie back down. And the weights kind of make it a little bit easier. I'm going to keep them at the ceiling. Head, upper back, middle back, lower back. And articulate lower back, middle back. Ooh, a little tremor, upper back. One more. We're still breathing, thinking of those lungs, hugging the heart. Straighten out the right leg, keeping the knees together. Rolling up, teaser one leg, lying back down. One more. This mat's making a funny noise, so if I don't fully pull into it, it's telling me, it's saying, no, you've not articulated through that bit. Right there, it's not wanting to bend. Two more. One more. And all the way down. That was a bit of a collapse there, don't copy that one. Let's roll over onto the front. Letting go of the hand weights. Hands under shoulders, toes tuck under. I'm going to push up into a plank, trying not to lead with my arms, thinking of leading with my whole back body. And then I'm just going to hold this position. Checking my feet are in the centre. And then I'm going to bring my knees down, knees are together, and I'm going to sink back into a rest position. Really rounding, really curling. This is where that bit that's not wanting to articulate is like, woo. Give me a bit of space, a bit of time. So I'm going to take some big breaths into my back body, into the areas that are hanging on, where something's just not wanting to let go. And with a very gentle fist, I'm just going to tap up and down the sides of the spine. And I might rock gently from side to side. And then pause. One more breath. And then bring yourself back up. Come back out into your plank. And I'm going to finish with 3 tricep press-ups. Elbows touching my ribs. Really lengthening through the crown. So I'm trying to come forwards as opposed to down. And then bring yourself to face the front. And that's you done. Random, but hopefully you feel a bit moved and a bit used in a good way.